Okay then, my first question is, please tell me your name, which university you're attending, and what course are you studying?
Okay, so my name is Andrea D'Acunzo. I study at the University of South Wales at the Atrium building in Cardiff, and I studied the computer games design module.
And how long is your course?
3 years.
So it's a BA Honours course.
Yes, it's a BA Hons. I'm on second year right now.
Okay. What do you hope to do for your career in the long term, so after you graduate?
Hopefully, option A is starting working with a company, a computer games company. Option B is setting up an indie company with some of my colleagues maybe, or other people interested in it. I don't know.
Yeah. So will you be hoping to set up your company future career in the UK or outside?
Probably I would have to, out of my education, I would have the most possibilities doing it here. But maybe there is the chance of getting back to Italy where I come from and try and do that there. Future shall tell.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So has your course provided you all the resources and the funding needed to achieve your goals so far?
So far, yes. I am very satisfied with my course, with the machines we have, the tools we are given. I think we are very well set. We have powerful machines and all the main softwares used in the industry. So yeah, I'm actually pretty happy about it.
Cool. As you probably are aware, there's going to be an EU referendum taking place on the 23rd of June, which has been broadcasted on the news now. And are you yourself following the recent debates happening at the moment?
Not on the media. I usually don't watch TV. Also, I tend to avoid getting too much angry in things I don't have any control. And since I will not be able to vote in the referendum, no. But I discussed about this with my colleagues, with my friends. I get the most relevant news from the internet, for example. I don't follow closely the debate, but the general positions.
Yeah. Okay, and if Brexit, the Leave the EU campaign, win a majority in this referendum, what will be the likely impacts it will have towards the funding of this university and also throughout the UK, really?
Well, that's actually the great point of the debate, isn't it? I think that obviously UE fundings will be cut off, not immediately, but soon after, as with the Scottish referendum was set up, so that if Scotland would have decided to leave the UK, there would have been a time for the actual separation to occur. I think in the event of a Brexit, Great Britain would be given a certain amount of time to process the exit from the European Union. What will happen is fundings will be lowered more and more until they in the end stop. At least that I think that's how they will do. They will do it probably, and then the idea is, will the local governments grant similar or maybe better or at all fundings to UE funded institutions? I don't know. That probably should be it will be a governmental decision, but that's the thing. We are basically if Brexit become a thing, actually, the funding of what is now something that is guaranteed by the European Union policy in all the European Union countries will become a sole privilege or decisions of the local government. So if maybe not this one, but say the next government decides to cut fundings to the institutions that right now are backed by the European Union, there's nothing we can do. If this will be the case, maybe not in the beginning, but who can say?
Yeah, who can say? So at the moment there are roughly, according to the UCAS statistics, around 430,000 international students this year who study in UK universities, and a large number of those are European students from loads of different countries within the member states. What do you think will happen to them, and including yourself for that matter, in regards to the referendum if they vote to leave?
That's the thing, I have no idea. The thing is, as of now, my permanence both in the university and in the UK is regulated by European policies. I feel very European, and in a way I feel protected. I feel, even if this is not my home country, I'm Italian, I still feel at home in a way. And it's a different language, it's a different environment, but I'm still part of the same broad organization. If that will change, that's another thing. I have no idea. For example, as for what I could have seen of these government choices and statements, they have no particular sympathy for not only the institutions but also the immigrants themselves. And I am an immigrant for this matter. So what will happen to me? I will probably need, if I am still at university or having or using fundings coming from European Union or governmental fundings for European students, if they change their policies, I will need to find an alternative. For example, as of now, I enjoy the same tuition fees as UK citizens. I don't have access to grants, to maintenance grants, or probably from when they will be implemented, maintenance loans. But that's not a problem for me. But I can attend this university only because the local government is paying for me for being a European Union citizen. Not paying, it's loaning me.
Yeah. No.
But if that was to change, that will depend on many factors. One of them would be the central and local government deciding if fundings, which then will rely on taxes and internal outcomes and not coming from the European Union, will be enough to grant to foreigners the same or similar policies as before. Maybe we will all be treated like international students, which is another. They have another system going on. I don't know. Probably so. I think this will be the most likely occurrence. Maybe not immediately, but we will end up being all the same boat. So if you're not from the UK, whether you come from France, Italy, United States of America, or South Africa, you are the same. Not a UK citizen. And yeah.
In a way, you have answered my next question, but
okay.
I'll say it all the same. Do you think those EU students will more likely go to other universities in mainland Europe, so Belgium, France, or even Italy for that matter, or do you think there will be a strong attendance, or percentage still in UK because of the reputations of how good universities are?
The UK's belonging to the European Union personally was absolutely part of my decision to come here studying. UK's main not privilege, but the best they have in confronting with the other countries is the language. In UK's language is English. English is a very broadly known international language, but that might be not enough for someone. For example, I know French, and I know many people in Italy that know French, and France is another place I could have gone studying if my possibilities in here were, or for someone like me coming from Italy, would have been more complicated than the ones in France, I probably would have gone there. Also because it really also depends on every field of study. UK is going well for example, games, but France is not bad too. Germany is ahead in many research fields, specific research fields, also in the gaming industry. Then there are, for example, my field of expertise are role-play games and LARPs, and that would be more Finnish or Swedish field of expertise, much more than in here. And then, I don't know, they might become, maybe not immediately, the UK might not immediately lose all the immigrants that are coming here for studying. But surely over the time, they might decrease, and maybe even sensibly. It will also depend what will happen to the UK not being in the European Union. What if, as many think, the UK's economy goes down incredibly and shatters? Then the UK will become yet another. This will be yet another reason not to come in here to study. And I don't know. This might be a very it's a very open future for many reasons. I don't know, maybe the possible ruin of UK economy, and the fact that UK, let's not lie about it, UK is, if not based, is heavily relying on cultural integration. If you, I live in Cardiff. Cardiff is the capital of Wales, but the same is in London. If you go down in London and talk and listen to people, you will probably hear other languages more than English down the street, and this happens to me here constantly. And this is something that, in my opinion, should be seen as a richness, as a resource. If workers or students will stop coming here, also because they, let's be honest, I feel like I'm not welcome. So sometimes I feel like there is a certain feeling coming from this referendum as me not being welcome in here. Also because actually immigration is seen by the governments as part of the problem, which shouldn't really be.
And it is a main debate affecting this whole referendum.
Also, yeah. For example, this is the strange thing about it. I could understand. I will talk. These are my personal opinions now. I feel very European, and I like the European Union as a concept. I don't like this European Union for example, but for a financial point of view, for example, the fact that for how the BCE, the ECB, the European Central Bank, is regulated, for the treaties of Lisbon, and some of the rules of the European Union, I don't like them. I would like them to change. I would agree in discussions of leaving the leaving the European Union based on disagreements with the central policies. As Greece, a discussion that has happened in Greece a lot, that happens in certain areas of Italian politics. But this is not the reason why UK wants to leave. Also because some of those policies are very in line with the free market vision of the world, which is a concept that is very, very strong in the UK. And I strayed off from the question, probably, but yeah.
Yeah, well, as part of the free market and also the free movement, which is very much part of being in European Union. At the moment, there are around 2 million British expats living around the EU, thanks to the free movement. Yeah. But with the referendum taking place, those people, those expats, will not be allowed to vote in this referendum, and a large percentage of those expats live in Belgium, France, and of course Spain, where there is the majority of those expats there, and even in Italy. So should those people, the expats, have that right to vote or not?
Absolutely, yes. For at least for logic, I mean, you are asking for example, I and all the European residents in the UK will not be able to vote in this referendum because this is a manifestation. The referendum is a manifestation and a decision of the UK people, of the British people. Okay, so if they are not allowed to vote, it will relegate them to non-UK people, which is not what they are. They basically, it's something that doesn't make sense. If you're asking your own people and only your own, not asking the other ones, what do they think of their belonging to the European Union? Well, it should be a universal question. And I also argue that the people that actually live in the rest of the European Union are most likely the ones that are more instructed and they know more of how European Union UK integrations work. And so if their vote shall matter, if not more, at least as anyone else in the UK. So basically this referendum is asking to take a decision to everyone that is not personally being personally affected by the referendum, which is absolutely horrible from so many perspectives. It's simply wrong. It's simply wrong. I didn't know this. I didn't know that the people outside the UK that live outside the UK could vote. There is a referendum going on in Italy shortly in April for another matter, but I can vote for it.
Yeah.
Because I am an Italian citizen.
Yeah.
And for us not being able to vote for a referendum is it's just wrong.
Yeah. If you were legally allowed to vote in this referendum, would you vote?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. And my last question, which is an out of context question, but it is a political question. Mm-hmm. Do you believe Italy could be in a position in a few years' time to hold a referendum over its membership, or do you highly doubt that at this stage?
The problem is... the problem it is already right now, in a matter of speaking, UK is being granted this out of just will. So it's not like UK is not in the UK position of being able to do this referendum is only given by the will of its government. It's nothing that has been granted by anyone. They just decided to make this vote. So the fact that that a member of the European Union gave itself the ability to ask their people the opinion if they should be leaving the EU or not, automatically grants this ability to everyone else in Europe, because it's we are all the European governments are sovereign governments. If one does something, the other ones should be allowed to do it too. So I don't think it will happen. I don't think that Italy has not a problem in the problems that are perceived here as being the reason for leaving the EU are not the same, are not felt in Italy this way. We have a very, very heavy real immigration problem of refugees coming from the shores of Turkey, Libya, fleeing from war, from Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya too. We have tens of thousands of people arriving every month on our shores. So for us, the European Union we have the opposite problem. The European Union is not doing enough, and this involves also the UK. We are having thousands of people coming out in Italy, not to come to Italy. They only want to leave a theater of war, and they want to come in the European Union. Many of them, like people like Syrians arriving in Greece, just use Greece as a dock to arrive in Europe and then move elsewhere. Swedish, Germany, mainly Sweden. Sorry. The fact is, there are agreements in act that are very, very weak, in which we receive, because simply because of where we are, we receive thousands of people per month, and then they just stay there waiting, and other countries in Europe don't help them in any way. So we receive them, and we obviously, even if among popular distress, because let's say we are racists, personal opinion. We receive these people, and it's not like they come in Italy and they make official requests of asylum, so of hospitality, so we can turn them away, or at least not right away. It's not like we see a ship full of hundreds of people coming from the sea and we just sink it. We take the people on, we make them arrive on our shores, and we process them as refugees. But then the problem is the rest of the Europe is inexistent. I think UK's government agreed only on taking officially recognized Syrian refugees. I don't know how many, but I think no more than a few hundreds came to UK, while, for example, let's say in Lebanon, which is a very, very tiny country south of Syria, there are 2 million refugees, Syrian refugees, in a country that hosts 5 million people. So there are 5 million Lebanese and 2 million Syrians. And then instead we are making, the European Union is making a fuss about tens of thousands and at most hundreds of thousands of people coming, when we have 5 the whole European Union should have more than 400 million people.
Thereabouts, yeah.
And similarly to this, the UK is making a fuss about rich people coming, because we are not refugees. I'm an immigrant. I'm not coming here fleeing from war. Fortunately, I came here bringing my resources, my ability, and my skills, and my will. I have 2 jobs. I pay taxes. I consume. So I am part of the UK's economy, as much as Cameron might like this or not. So I am an asset for this country, and it's not like I'm fleeing from war again. And the UK is making a fuss about the free. The ability of people to come and go as they wish from their own homelands, which are the European Union. We are in the same boat, and as you were saying before, there are a lot of UK citizens spread around Europe. The overall point is cultural integration and exchange is always a resource. Always, it has always been at any time, everywhere in the history of the world, and a lot of people just don't want to see that. I really don't know why. I really don't know why. And there are many statistics that say that immigrants in here produce more than what they consume. It's not me saying it. These are official studies coming from official institutions. So, in the end, the main argument point behind all this, it's simply a lie.
Well, thank you very much for your words. We'll finish the interview now.